Emmanuel Washington. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. How you doing, brother?
Good, good, good. Well, I tell you what, this is my favorite part of the year.
Yes,
I'm one
yes,
of those
yes.
guys that got into all that black stuff and don't celebrate Christmas anymore.
Understand, understand, understand.
But this is not a substitute for Christmas.
No, no, this is not a substitute for Christmas. This is a opportunity for African people throughout the diaspora and in America to get together and to celebrate ourselves because we know that Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these wonderful holidays, these are holidays that at their basis are, they have a European origin. But Kwanzaa is something that is for us as African Americans, for us as people of the diaspora, and we take this time to celebrate the triumphs that we've had the year. We celebrate our family. We celebrate all the wonderful things that the Creator and the ancestors have helped us to acquire in this year, and it's an opportunity for us throughout the diaspora to come together and to reaffirm who we are here in America, whether we're in Europe, whether we're, again, dispersed throughout all the different areas throughout the globe.
And for those who don't know, Kwanzaa was created by Malana Karenga. He's a university professor over in California. I think it's the University of California, Long Beach. An incredible brother. He came out of what's called the US movement.
Yes, yes, yes.
But also, that was a really incredible time. Talk a little bit about that period of time in the 60s, where you had the Panthers, you had Dr. King, you had
Right,
Malcolm
right.
X. And so you had something pro-black that came out of that really talked about and dealt with culture.
Right. Well, from my limited studies, it was during the times of the 60s. It was the civil rights movement where black people in America, begin to say, hey, if we're going to live in America, if we're going to work in America, if we're going to shed blood for America, we need to be able to enjoy the things that Americans do. And so you have the civil rights movement. You have Martin Luther King. You have Fannie Lou Hamer. You have Malcolm X. You have Elijah Muhammad. You have the Black Panther organization that was started by young people, college students that took the teachings of Malcolm X, Franz Fanon, and other people and began to engage the political process. One of the things that happened with the US organization was that this was an organization that thought that we needed to have something that worked for us on a cultural level, because up until that point we had just been Negro Americans or colored Americans or just black. With Dr. Karenga and the whole cultural movement, we began to say that there's a tie to Africa that we have, and so that we start saying we're African Americans. We start talking about celebrating the African culture. Now, up until that point, the only African culture that we knew of was kings and having a whole bunch of wives and some of the derogatory stuff. But what Dr. Karenga, along with other people, were able to do, they were able to go to the continent. They were able to study the traditions of the different cultures and bring all those traditions together up under, I think, what he called the Kawaida philosophy, and that is where our culture comes from. So we did what African Americans do in this country. We pull from here, we pulled a little from there, and we pulled a little from that, and we came together and we created this revolution, this cultural revolution called Kwanzaa. And it was a time in which African Americans can get together and celebrate themselves. And the beautiful thing about it is that we didn't have to go to the grocery store. We didn't have to go to the mall. What we were able to do is go within ourselves. We were able to go and find things that were in the house. We were able to go back to the land, find the foods, find very organic things. And a lot of times what happens in this human process is that whether you are engaged in a natural process of living now, at some point you will want to go back to the natural way, or what we say, go back to Mother Earth, go back to that root. And that's what Kwanzaa does. It allows for us to go back to the earth, go back to nature. And when we go back to nature, when we go back to our Mother Africa, when we go back all this stuff like that, the healing begins. And so, yeah, Sankofa.
All right, so let's get into some Kwanzaa 101.
Okay,
we have
Kwanzaa 101.
Candles here.
Okay, okay.
We have the cup, we have the red, black, and green flag, we have the mat, we have the fruit. Talk a little bit about what all this stuff is.
We talk about culture, when we talk about Kwanzaa, we have symbols that represent principles, represents, in fact, the ancestors.
So when you say principles, and I know this because I've been celebrating Kwanzaa for a while, each candle is dedicated to a principle. We talk about 7 days, 7 candles, from the 26th to the 1st of January.
Right.
Talk about each candle and those principles.
Okay, well, first of all, let me just say lucky number 7. 7 is the divine number. So we're talking about the 7 principles. The first principle is going to be umoja.
Umoja. Okay, umoja. You said umoja. Now, that's not English.
Okay, no, that comes from the Kiswahili. And as people learn these words, they will find out that they are just very, very wonderful words, you know.
Umoja means?
Umoja means unity.
Unity.
Unity. So, and unity means, prime example, you're wearing a dashiki, I'm wearing a regular little polo shirt, but we have a common interest in Kwanzaa. We have a common interest in the development and the celebration and the progression of our people. So it doesn't matter what the package is, although we do want to adorn ourselves with some of the garb. Unity means is we have a purpose. Doesn't matter how we necessarily get there, as long as we get there.
Let me say this.
Okay.
I'm an organizer. I like to get down on the ground where real things are going on. Sometimes you have the east side want to go against the west side, want to go against the north side.
Right.
That's a principle that can help if we're sharing, right? For
Right.
others to stop fighting each other. I know out on the beaches, I've lived in Atlantic Beach. It would be Atlantic Beach against Jack's Beach.
Right.
So if you have a unity, that means we can bring everybody together. We won't have to see the senseless violence that we see.
Right. And umoja brings us together. So during Kwanzaa time, you will begin to see people from different parts of Jacksonville, different people from different parts of our community come together. And why are we coming together? We're coming together because through all the diversity, we are one people. We all adhere to the principle of emotion that says, I am because we are. And because we are, therefore I am.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk about the rest of those principles, and we're in a very lovely house. We're going to introduce you to the woman who allowed us to come into her home to film this right here on New Southern Strategy.